Welcome to the Underdog Cup, everybody! So, we are back with the next amateur tournament. We had obviously a lot of the top players play in the last couple of events, and now, as in the previous Underdog Cup, I want to focus a little bit on the amateur scene again. Now, just as a little bit of an introduction to what we're doing here, basically these are teams that are playing in Heroes Lounge. So, this is essentially everything from Division 2 to Division 4 that is playing. The two teams here are Division 4 and Division 3. And we have 16 teams sign up in total. This is, by the way, one of the things that I love about the amateur scene. They are just absolutely incredible when it comes to passion for the game, and within seconds we have people sign up for the tournaments and just filling the bracket. But this is a little bit closer to home for a lot of people that are watching as well. It's also a nice break from always seeing the top players play in the same constellation and tournaments, and you will see some stuff here just as a bit of a fun factor, because obviously there will be the occasional Gaslow main, for example, that makes things interesting. So the goal that I have personally for the tournament is that I want to give a bit more of a spotlight to Heroes Lounge as an organization, but also to the grassroots in general, and give an opportunity to players that don't usually end up on the stream to just show their skills off a little bit and get their team name out there slightly. It's a shorter tournament than we have in most of the others. We have 16 teams, so we have a lot more here. But if you watch the other Underdog tournaments, they are a lot of fun. Now, obviously, don't freak out here for everybody's like, oh my god, but where's my top-end tournament game? We are already planning the next tournament. There will be one after this, but I like to throw these in every now and then. Prize money is completely put down by me for this one. We have a little bit of pizza money for the teams. And yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what they're actually going to do. Garden of Terror is our first map in the best of 3 series. We currently are in Group A. Now, the one thing that I can't promise you, but I'll try, but I can't promise you that I'm going to get bracket pictures for this tournament here. I do this in coordination with Heroes Lounge. I have a little bit less control over the organizational side. Big shout out, by the way, to Heroes Lounge for setting this up together with me. They are absolutely incredible with this, and it makes it much, much easier. But I'm not 100% certain if I can give the viewers on YouTube the bracket link for this. I will obviously try for upcoming tournaments to do it. But as I already announced from the get-go, I'll do it when I can. Can't promise that it's going to be possible for every single tournament. Just as a bit of a side note here at the introduction. Now, heading into Garden of Terror, what do we get? We have Dehaka, 4-team Sigma males, starting things up here. So apparently they are a team that was previously in Division 2 and somehow dropped down into Division 3, but finds themselves at the top end of this. Now, general skill level, this is obviously first round of the tournament, so as we're progressing through the group stage and then going into the playoffs themselves, we're going to go higher and higher and higher in the ranks. But we will have the occasional silver player, maybe the occasional gold player. Most of the people that you will see are still someone on plat level, and then we're going into diamond, masters, and even a bit higher than that as we're going towards the grand final of the tournament. So just as a bit of idea of where we're actually standing with this. And of course, if you watched the last Underdog Cup, a couple of these team names should actually ring true already and should be pretty familiar for you. So yeah, those names should be ringing a bell. Sigma males, for example, played in the last event, hit the core. We had them in the past too. But yeah, this is round 1 in Group A. And obviously with 16 teams, we have in each group now 8 teams playing. So yeah, just as a bit of a structural idea of what's going to happen here. I'm going to call that out, obviously, in every single match that we're heading into right at the beginning where we are. But for now, we get Sylvanas and we get ETC over on the right side. Already both of the damage dealers locked in. Already very different when you're looking for the drafting. When you're talking about the amateur scene, preference picks are going to be much more important than going for the strongest meta pick. For example, with this being Garden of Terror, what you would normally see in a high-level draft is, well, Hogger being addressed somehow, right? Either banned or picked very early. You would see more of a focus onto heroes that are great on mercenary camps. Dehaka still quite strong, so he's still a good pick here. But Li Ming stands a little bit out immediately. The early ETC pick as well. With Sylvanas, you can obviously do a lot here too. But a lot of those heroes that you currently see, they would have dropped down in priority a little bit in favor of others. Maybe Dehaka being the exception here. But Hogger so far, not a thing. And let's face it, game number 1, you normally don't see a white main when you're looking at the top level plays here. Now we get Gul'dan for some added damage, so they have Sylvanas and Gul'dan to try and push. They got Kayn on the other side, again highlighting that there will be preference picks for the players. And then over on the red team side, our final pick. We still need a frontliner for them, of course. We still need a main tank. Also kind of interesting that, for example, Blaze wasn't addressed at all. Tacita banned out. The teams obviously know each other too, so they are fully aware what the important picks of the other teams are. So here comes Varian. We get Taunt into a Dehaka Tong. And then over on the left side, the final choice. I assume we are still looking for a side laner, unless, of course, they are playing a side lane ETC and just dropping another main tank into the mix, which they definitely could do, by the way. So that could definitely be a thing. But yeah, Garden of Terras kicks us off in this best of 3. And our our last choice is Chen. Alrighty, Chen and ETC. Pretty beastie lineup here for Garden of Terror. And with that, we're off to the races. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 1, the Underdog Cup number 3 starts off with Hit the Core against Sigma Males. Game number 1, Hit the Core in blue on the left side. We got Isnes on ETC, Sparkman on Chen, Mata on White Main, Lucas on Sylvanas, and Wookie. Worst Wookiee impression ever on Gul'dan. I think the last time that I went for a Wookiee impression, it was actually a little bit better, so I'm a bit ashamed here. I might try and pull one off later. Honestly, this was a spur of the moment thing, so I'm already lining up the excuses for that embarrassment. But over on the right side for Sigma Males, we got Lizzie Ryan on Varian, Anafas on Dehaka, Nicolas is playing Vala with an arrow build in game number 1. We got Lilix on Deckard Kane, and Sandro is playing Li Ming, going straight up into Force Armor. Now, I talked a bit earlier about preference picks on the hero side, but of course you're going to see that to an extent also with the builds that are being played for those heroes. Now, as I said, we are going to see a wide variety here from team levels and also from individual player levels. And as with any other tournament, as we're going through the stages of the event, to the group stage, into the playoffs, and from round to round, we're obviously slowly going to sort out the weaker teams here. Sometimes people are a little bit confused and I think disappointed that in the early stages we sometimes get a stomp. That's how tournaments work. If you ever did any sport whatsoever, this should be a familiar concept. That's usually how that works. So yeah, let's see. Vala is already trying to get some stacks together, so we're having her sitting at 3 early on in the game. White Main started with Pity the Frail. I like some of these names, they're really cool. But I really have to stress again, I absolutely enjoy doing these amateur events. You can't imagine how cool it is to just see teams sign up this quickly. Sometimes we're hosting a tournament where we're setting down a prize pool of like 2,000 euros or more. And we have teams just sign up, you know, on the last day. And up to the last day, we're not 100% certain. Do we have enough teams for this tournament format? Do we have to adjust the tournament format? Do I have to, for example, like change the group stage a little bit and adjust to different team numbers? So it's honestly, for me as an organizer, just so awesome to see the passion that comes out of the amateur teams, where they just instantly try to get those slots sign up for the events, and we have a much easier time organizing it. And then every single time that we're looking, you know, to host the first map, teams were ready within seconds, essentially. It's awesome. So yeah, the passion of the grassroots is incredible. And as I already say, oh, ETC might be in trouble here. Careful. As I always say, guys, if you have not heard of Heroes Lounge yet, you should definitely check them out. I'm going to put a link in the description of the video as well. Heroes Lounge is an amateur scene in the European server, but you can also play if you are over on NA. You will have a ping disadvantage, obviously, playing on Europe, but it is manageable for sure. It's just a completely different game when you play it with like-minded people, you know, that want to analyze an opponent a little bit, that want to practice maybe some combos. It's a completely different game from what you're experiencing in any pubby play, and it's just awesome. So again, if you haven't signed up with them yet, check them out, heroeslounge.gg. It's totally free, doesn't cost you anything, and you will find all of the information on the website. You can sign up as a 5-man, you can sign up as an individual player, and just participate in the leagues there. And believe me, this is how the game was supposed to be played. So yeah, good stuff here. But we get Taunt, as already expected, on level 4 for Varian. We got the repeating arrow as well. Li Ming with Triumvirate here. And with the seeds now being heavily fought over, we are likely going to get a seed for each team. At least the red team is currently lining pretty hard towards the top to try and grab this one. A little bit of damage against ETC, nothing too crazy just yet, but they're focusing on Chen. And yep, they get some damage in here, but Sparkman is able to get away. 8 stacks for Vala. Even if she can get a little bit more done here, especially with a repeating arrow, she could be an absolute menace in the late game. The only level 7 though for the blue team gives them a bit of an upper hand as they're trying to come in for this one. Okay, yeah, they try to go for ETC again as he wants to interrupt. Li Ming was channeling, but got interrupted by Gul'dan. The pressure against Deckard Cain in the back. The Haka here at the front now gets hit as well. And already we're getting the next jump. Sylvana's going deep on this one. Vala consistently trying to get stacks together here, but they are heavily split. The blue team pretty much pulled a wedge between them. And now Wookie is in trouble because those arrows nearly took Gul'dan out. And they're killing Varian first. Varian is the first one to fall. The blue team immediately trying to get the channel. Vala nearly gone. She definitely has to hearth back out. Got a lot of stacks together on her level 1, but that doesn't really help them here. Instead, it's the Haka that is now in trouble, and that is the second hero that falls on the side of Sigma males. So hit the core, just from the league position, would have been the underdog in this series, but they are doing well right now. They got 2 kills to 0, and more importantly, they actually have 2 to 0 seeds as well. Gul'dan is struggling a bit to get stacks for his level 1, so that's something that I should probably highlight here too. He's currently sitting at 4, considering that we're now 5 minutes into the game and we had a pretty epic battle here over seed number 2. That's not really where you want to be. He got split very early from the rest of the team and then had a tough time engaging into the battle. We now have Sika on level 7, so Li Ming going full on magic missile with the focus that she's executing right now. And on top of that, we're now having down at the bottom of the map a little bit of pressure from the Panda as well. And topside, Sylvanas has essentially mirrored that and started to take the wall out too. Oh, little toy dinosaur is also in some trouble on this one. Alright, another quick drag, and off we go. Well, and there we go with our level 10 abilities. An entire level gap between Hit the Core and Sigma males. No huge surprises here. We get the Scarlet Aegis, we have ETC with the Mosh Pit, and they are going to try to be aggressive around this. Topside, Dehaka is in some trouble, might actually go down, gets chased, and gets killed. Nice. But down at the bottom of the map, the Mosh Pit came in, got interrupted, but they have the Horrify. Vala is down, and Deckard Cain gets killed as well. That's now 5 kills to 0. Damn son. Hit the Core is absolutely beasting it here early on. They're doing some solid work. Now, I still have my eyes on Vala a little bit and her stacks, but to be honest, without level 10, Sigma males can't just do anything here. It was a huge part, of course, of why this entire situation on the bot lane happened in the first place. If your opponent has heroic abilities and you just don't, then you're going to find yourself in trouble here. So all that the red team can do right now is pray for level 10 abilities and then try to somehow bring this back, but they're now nearly 2 levels down. And one fort is obviously already lost at the top lane in the middle of the map. With the help of Sylvanas, it seems very likely that this one is going to fall, if not, then at least take a lot of damage. And I suppose the red team can still hold on to this a little bit longer, but down at the bot lane, that's a different story, because that one is going to fall 100%. Chen takes that down with the help of the Garden Terrors, and they got the Mercenary Camp as well. More pressure in the middle. 5 kills to 0, so we're still waiting for kill number 1 from the red team. Vala comes in again, as you're going to get a couple of arrows connected here, gets pushed back very, very quickly. Has to be a bit cautious as they're moving in. But here comes the Horrify again from Gul'dan. Vala, they are able to get the kill on ETC, but Varian is lost too. Vala with 1 connect, 2 connects, big damage on Chen, and he gets killed. The final one to come through here was Li Ming. And yeah, on the damage output, I mean, Li Ming is sitting at 25,000. Vala is sitting at 19k. But she obviously has a lot of scaling potential the way that she's being played at this point. The Haka is dealing with the bottom of the map. He alone should honestly give Sigma males a bit of an advantage. I mean, you think about it, they have the only global in the game right now. So that should help them to hold on to these lanes, get the experience back, close that gap at some point at least. But the structures that are falling, that is still a problem. They saved their fort in the middle of the map. It's not going to sit there for much longer. Gul'dan, by the way, is really not paying off for the blue team. He's sitting at 10,000 damage. 9 minutes in, that's not enough. So, yeah, with the build that we have, he has 16 stacks now. We are 9 minutes into the game. But Gul'dan, he had a couple of nice Horrifiers that definitely led to 2 kills. But just on the raw damage, there's still a bit of work to be done. The Horrifiers, on the other hand, they were on point. So they got, especially in the battle at the bottom of the map, some decent kills out of it. The red team now trying to get to level 13. Still 1 talent down. Vala poking, Li Ming poking. They're looking for opportunities here. Let's see what else they are getting right now. I mean, there is a big push coming through the top lane for that keep, so they have to annihilate that as quickly as they can. Sylvanas is not going to make that job any easier. Dehaka is trying to get the experience at the bottom of the map for the team to hit level 13 so that they can engage into the fight, but hit the core. They're hitting keeps right now. Li Ming with glass cannon, so yeah, full on glass cannon right now. Balls to the wall for her. Pedal to the metal as they're moving in. Quick interrupt against ETC and his mosh pit attempt here. So yeah, not too bad. Vala has been able to get another stack or 2, but while they're defending the top side keep barely, they still lose Dehaka, and now the blue team is attempting to isolate Varian, and it doesn't really look like Lizzie Ryan is going to make it here. 7 kills to 2 by now, and yeah, tough times. That keep is gone. It feels that every time Sigma males seem to have an opportunity to maybe bring this back, the next fight just pushes Hit the Core even farther ahead. And now we have a 2-level gap, even a bit more than that, for the blue team. And they are not stopping. They're applying more pressure. They still have the numbers advantage, and they're using it right away to start going through that wall in the middle, which gives them enough experience to hit level 16. So now they're even further ahead in all of this. Sylvanas in particular is just ruling the numbers for them with 35,000 hero damage. Li Ming is a little bit higher. Vala's at 26,000, which isn't too shabby either, but her stacking has definitely slowed down. So she's now a lot... She just doesn't have the same progress anymore on her level 1 talent, which is certainly a problem for them. But as is, the level 16 talents are now kicking in. We got Celerity for the Panda. We have the Will of the Forsaken for Sylvanas. And ETC went straight into the imposing presence here with the Fell Flame build of Gul'dan, following up a bit. The Unstoppable use at the bottom of the map from Sylvanas went straight for level 16 talent to use that and not die. I mean, they're getting the experience with the waves here. They can also let the next seed go, which is not too bad for them. It's only going to be the second one. Still, we should probably point out that right now, we're looking at a game in which the red team has not picked up a single seed. No one. Now, they are 1 level away from level 16, still playing this slow and safe. Trying to get level 16 talents, but I can already guarantee you that the window that they afterwards have to fight with even talents is going to be a small one regardless. So this could become a bit of a problem. And we'll see how much of a problem it is, but once they have 16 talents, they really need to start to push the envelope a bit on this one. So right now we have the bot lane pushed out as quickly as they can. ETC just says hello every now and then, but they're having no designs on actually going for an attack. It's 2.5 levels ahead now. Dehaka is a little bit far out, might be... Okay, he gets away, he realizes, well, we don't have a lot of vision on the map, they might actually be beelining for me, so he retreats. But a lot of patience currently for Sigma males. And yeah, Dehaka, he might get killed right now. He's trying to get away, went for the tunnel, and gets hit by the mind control. They just barely don't have level 16 talents. There it is, they got the talents, they pick him quickly. Vala instantly with Manticore, but Varian gets isolated and gets very quickly hit and killed. Nice ult from Deckard Cain. Interrupt as ETC goes for the mosh again. And Gul'dan falls, but so does Deckard Cain. They don't have the sustain anymore. Dehaka gets targeted next. Li Ming with Glass Cannon is trying to get more damage done as Dehaka falls. That leaves us with 2 defenders. This is the 2 damage dealers. and the blue team tries to end the game. I'm not sure if they can. There's 2 damage dealers against them, and they're missing Gul'dan here. They might be able to end it, but there is a chance with a quick kill from Li Ming that they can push this back. But Mind Control connects, and that makes it a totally different story. All of a sudden, it's only Li Ming that's left. At least Varian is coming back now. Comes in, tries the taunt. Chen is going deep. Fat Illidan is attempting to push Li Ming farther away. The Siege Giants are attacking the keep in the middle. Varian still alive, dodging out, and Deckard Cain is back too. But I think at least their keep is going to fall. They're shifting the focus. They're not going for the core anymore. They're going for the keep. And that is keep number 2 already gone. Yeah, well, Sigma males, they are 99% on the core, but even with them saving it, they are about to hit an opponent that has level 20 talents, and that's a 3-level gap now, so at this point you don't have any good options anymore. There's also a seed, so you have to make a move here. They're trying the interrupt, and Gul'dan, I honestly think he could have finished that channel. I think he had it. Well, takes it a second later, there's Garden Terrors, and I think that is probably lights out. They were trying to push into this. Level 20 wasn't there yet, but even here they had trouble. Varian is moving away. Vala is just firing away as much as she can. Same for Li Ming, but can they really get a kill? That's the question. Maybe on Gul'dan. They're certainly trying, but the Garden Terrors are now all jumping onto the core. Even if they get kills here, and they might, the core is likely going to fall. There's the lick! But they just can't kill anybody. Sylvanas is alive, Gul'dan is alive, the core is losing its shield. There's the party, and we don't see an interrupt. Instead, it turns on Dehaka and on Varian. The 2 of them are gonna fall. Heals are coming, and Varian doesn't get the kill. The core is dropping, and it's dropping quickly. And this is gonna be the 1-0 lead in the series for Hit the Core. Nicely done. 14 kills, 2-3 by them. And obviously dominant on Garden of Terror, rocking the objective, and yep, pulling it off on the first map of the series. Hit the Core in Group A is able to take down Sigma Males on the first map. GG. We're heading into the next game in a moment. Before we do, once again, a bit of an appeal from my end, guys. You can support the stream for free right now. We got a campaign currently going on with Opera GX. It is the easiest campaign ever. All you gotta do is you download the browser through the link that you can find in the video description, and you watch the video on the browser. That's essentially it. It's as easy as that. It's gonna take you a minute, probably less. There's no insane download involved here. There's no game where you have to play to a certain level or anything of the sorts. It's really as easy as just downloading the browser and then watching the YouTube videos on the browser for a bit. Browser is quite nice, has an integrated VPN, has integrations for Discord, WhatsApp, and a lot of other tools that especially targets gamers. But if you just want to support the stream, this is literally all you gotta do. Check out the link in the description, download it quickly, watch the video there, and you're good already. Thanks a lot for the support. Really appreciate everybody that is taking a minute or two to do this real quickly. Thanks a lot, and enjoy the rest of the video, guys. Game number 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Hit the Core, true to their name. They hit the core, and they hit it hard. And they won the video game. At least game number 1. So now that we're heading into our second map, let's see what they're going to be able to pull off. A quick reminder, by the way, I have to admit that I had to double check that with the Heroes launch, boys, because I'm like, we didn't really talk about it. We just said we are going to set up the next Underdog Cup. So I was like, I assume we told the teams they can only use Heroes once within the series, right? But then I was all of a sudden in my head like, we didn't specifically talk about it. When we organized the tournament, we just were like, hey, we're going to do another one of these. So I confirmed it. And yes, indeed, Heroes can only be played once. It's a rule that, in my opinion, every single tournament should have. But I wasn't quite sure if we did it here too. And I want to put this also a bit in perspective, right? When we're talking about the top level play, these guys have all the heroes. They have deep hero pools. You will very, very rarely find on top level teams a guy that has only 2-3 heroes, and that's basically it. And once you ban them out, things are getting a little bit tricky. But when you're talking about the amateur scene, these guys don't have time to put as many games in every single week as the top level. So if you do a little bit of research as a team and you're really looking at your opponent, you're thinking, okay, what do they have? What is their healer playing? What is their damage dealer usually doing? You can now really get rid of some of these heroes. Either they play them once or you play them and you just take them off the board. And the last time that we had the Underdog tournament, a lot of the teams commented that for them it was actually really cool to have that environment, simply because they said, this is kind of fun. We can now do way more research. We can tactically pick and ban heroes in a totally different way. And it makes it also more challenging for us because we have to really think about what are we going to do if those heroes are all of a sudden unavailable to us. So the teams that we talked to really enjoyed it a lot. And it puts a bigger strain on these lower level teams, on the amateur teams, than it does on the top teams. So I'm pretty happy with this. And you could see that there was a lot more strategy going into the drafts too. If you know that there's a one-trick pony on the other side, you can very quickly get rid of that. Usually, of course, you're trying to use a ban for it, but you can't ban everything out. But now in a best of 3, in a best of 5, things are getting interesting very quickly. Now, we got Blaze as our first pick here. Tomb of the Spider Queen obviously centers a lot around AoE. Jojo is something that I would expect to be picked up quickly. Oh, but we get the Kel'Thas first pick. Alright. Somebody really wanted to have Kel'Thas. Combine the rule that you can only play a hero once within a series with the different preferences for teams regarding their picks in general, and you get some fun stuff. You get a Kel'Thas first pick, for example. I can pretty much guarantee you that at this point they were just looking at it as like, we have to pick him early. There's no other way. So, Anduin on the other side. And we get Chromie. I still want to see if Johanna is going to be picked or not. Because Jojo would usually be on Tomb of the Spider Queen. One of the earliest picks that you're going to see here. Great interrupt with her shield glare. Great AoE clear for the lanes. And just in general, a fantastic tank, of course. Diablo can be played here too. Specifically, in this case, by Hit the Core, because they got Leoric. So if you use an Entomb to drop a couple of walls, then Diablo can get even more stuns. And while Jojo gets banned. A little bit of a sad moment over here. But, yeah. Makes sense. I expected that to be taken a little bit earlier, but Jojo gets addressed. So, what's the final ban here for Sigma males? They are obviously now down in the series, so they got to be a bit careful around this. We get a Stukov ban. Okay, fair enough. Not something that I had on my list here, but hey, why not? So they're getting rid of Stukov. I suppose they want to avoid the poor man's Buried Alive. So if you have Leo and Tomb plus Stukov, Lurking Arm, that is essentially the same thing as Leo's level 20. So if you shut that down early, then yes, you can by getting rid of Stukov here. We get Tychus and we get Tyrande. Okay, so Tychus and Kel'Thas. Not gonna lie, bit curious to see what kind of build Tychus takes. Normally, grenade build all the way. But here, in the amateur scene, we could get something different. For sure. We had this one epic Tychus game. I don't know if it was in the Anniversary Cup or if it was in the Murky Cup already. I'm not 100% certain. But it was just absolutely incredible. Full on auto attack with stacks on level 4. And I think he ended up with 500 stacks or something. If you haven't seen that yet, I can heavily recommend that you go back in the videos on the YouTube channel. It is in the title, it's in the thumbnail. But yeah, that was an insane Tychus game. Absolutely loved it. We get Zul. Okay, so Zul main tank apparently for Isnes. And on the other side, Hanzo on Muradin. Well, ladies and gentlemen, off to the races. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Match point for Hit the Core. Let's go and let's see who takes the victory on the second map. Game number 2, we are on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Isnes on main tank Zul. Alex the Pro G would be proud. We get Sparkman on Leoric, Mata on Tyrande, Lucas on Tychus, and Wookie is playing Kel'Thas. Over on the right side of the map, we got Lizzie Ryan with for Sigma males with Chromie, Anafas on Blaze, Sandro on Hanzo, Lilix is playing Anduin, and we get Nicholas with Muradin. So, let the games begin here, and let's see who is going to be able to win this one. Are we going to see a 2-0 victory for Hit the Core? Or is the red team going to bring this one back? Grenade build for Tychus, so no auto attacks here. Leo only one that hasn't picked this talent yet. We're gonna get Austin's renewal, or is he just gonna go into... Nope, he is gonna go into fealty onto death first over here. Anduin with the even-handed blessings. He's gonna slap people a little bit. And, well, we get the focus on Zul. That might actually be the first kill of the game. Nice gravity lapse. That not only saved Zul, but it nearly led to a kill for Hit the Core. We're super close on this. Leo has the ghost out and does so. Have the drain on Murden, so he was still fine here. But now we're getting some action already in the game. Great effort, obviously, for Hit the Core in game number 1. So now we'll see if they can follow this up with a bit more here. Oh, Chromie. She is actually a little bit... Chromie is a little bit quick. Very short legs, but she's fast. Like a cockroach. So, yeah, you see her and then zip, she's just like in the next corner, you know? Always running away here. And she's, yeah, I think the comparison is pretty adequate. Now, this time she might be locked down, gets stunned, but the gravity lapse got blocked by Murden, or they could have CC'd her a little bit longer. A couple of gems are already in. Nobody has turned anything in yet. But we have 23 on the red team side. And they're currently dominating that rotation between the middle and the top. You can see some really safe pathing for Sigma males as they're trying to get between the lanes. The camp, on the other hand, is only being focused by the red team. So they're the ones currently trying to get a little bit of value here. But with Tyrande and with Kel'Thas, they are slowly starting to move over here. By the way, Kel'Thas as a mount, I gotta say, that's a bit of a fail, my friend. Snowflake for Kel'Thas, you're literally playing a fire mage and you're running a Snowflake. This isn't Hero Academia. We're not talking about Todoroki here, so you can't go like half fire, half ice. That's not how this works. So you're a fire mage, act like one. You can't ride a Snowflake. It would melt, you would fall, it would be embarrassing for everybody involved. The opponent would laugh at you. We don't want that. So again, it has to be a little bit lore appropriate, at least when we're looking at this. But then again, for now we have still not a single kill. Well, 4 talents are kicking in, and Chromie is, of course, already accessing her level 7. 26 gems have been delivered, and the blue team is getting a bit closer to being fully ready with turn-in number 1. So, Lizzie Ryan gets away. Murden comes in. Where's that Stormbolt when you need it? Hits hard, but they're still saving Tychus. So he's fine. Few gems turned in at the bottom of the map as well. Still the interrupt coming. We have Leo also doing his thing. Everybody is starting to get a bit more concerned about the opponent's turn-ins than anything else. They want to have the first objective. Nobody has gotten a kill yet though. But isn't this now moving in with his main tank Zul? Went into Jailers on level 4. Yeah, talking about Jailer. Oh, that's a kill. Nice. Chromie is down. Can they recover the gems? That's the question. And it seems like they can. So most of the gems have been recovered, but now Murden is in trouble. And he gets killed. No, he actually made it. What? Not bad, my friend. Good job from Anduin. But I actually thought that would be a kill. I was waiting for the grenade from Tychus the entire time. But with him being this low, they were able to do a bit more work in the middle. And now they should be able to also complete that turn-in. Chromie has at least figured that out. So there's a little bit of interrupts happening, but there are 37 gems that they now delivered. Now, bit of a leading experience. First blood in the hands of Hit the Core. Is it going to be enough to give them the Web Weavers? That's the question. On level 7, we get now Moonlit Arrows. We have also the Relentless Soldier for Tychus. So, shifting a little bit when it comes to the build here that he uses. Down at the bottom of the map, Leo with 21 gems. I mean, if he can turn in, that would be fantastic for them. As a side laner, it's always a little bit tricky, and you need some support usually. Oh, that's a dead Tychus, isn't it? Yeah, he's gone. Tychus is gone, but so much... Yeah, Hanzo is also dead. And there's the double kill. They're able to take down Chromie. Chromie is gone. Now they're trying to focus on Blaze. But that was well done. And hello? No freaking way. They are able to take Blaze down too. Now, the gems have been recovered.
But that still hurts. That's 4 kills to 1. Guys, Hit the Core started off with a great first game, and now it seems like they're just going to follow up with this with another fantastic performance in game number 2. So, Sparkman is still sitting at 25 gems, but they have the Web Weavers. They're also getting extremely close to level 10 abilities that they should be able to use with the push. So, Siege Giants at the bottom of the map, Web Weavers incoming, and level 10. This is dangerous. This is really dangerous. And as I said before, to my knowledge, the blue team is the underdog here. But they're just popping off. They're absolutely popping off. Pyroblast for Kelthas. Alright, big attack in the middle. Odin has been used very, very quickly. They want the forts now, and for good reason. Leo has not made a move yet on level 10. He hasn't gone for his Entomb. Might go for March here. The mid lane fort is a disaster. That one's gone, and I think the one at the bottom of the map is most likely going to fall too. Chrome is defending the top lane right now. But down here, yep, the fort gets destroyed. Same is true in the middle. Great job by them. First objective, 2 forts taken out. That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And the leading experience is getting pushed too. So now they're trying to see if they can maybe do a little bit more damage at the top lane as well. And things are not looking that bad. But I am curious what Leo is going to pick. I mean, if you are already teasing like this, then March would just be the option here. Now, level 10 abilities are now available on the side of Sigma Males for everybody, not only for Chromie. That means that we're getting the Light Bomb, and we're also getting Avatar for Murden. The turn-in has happened again, so the blue team was able to use that window that they had with heroic abilities to get themselves a second turn-in. So it's 2 in a row that they're now trying to execute. Damage output, we have 16,000 for Leo. Oh, the arrow! Beautiful! That was an awesome double kill right here. The Ragdoll gets still kicked around. Now they go for Tychus and they drop him as well. It's a triple kill. Leo has March, but I can already tell you that push should not be able to do a whole lot for them. So, look at this. Stormbolt hits 2, then the follow-up, and bam! There's the double kill on Tyrande and on Kelthas, and then shortly after they were able to take Tychus out too. So, that's how we come back into the game. 4 kills, 2-4. And all the way up at the top. Isness still pushing this a little bit. Alright. We have half a level until 13 for the blue team. Meridian, where's that Stormbolt? There it is. Chromie, can she follow up? She tries. Good damage, but not enough to go for a kill. Instead, Meridian is now in trouble. Gets saved for now and is able to retreat and pop the fountain. But Leo is just pushing that bot lane. That Web Weaver is still alive. In the bottom keep, it's not going to fall here, but he's going to go to... Actually, with Blaze this low, this might take way more damage than expected. Yeah, there's the drain, and Blaze is dead. Blaze is just dead. Blaze is gone, and this bottom keep is taking monstrous damage. Topside, Hanzo is down. I don't understand why they're defending the fort when they have to defend the keep at the bottom of the map. Muradin is dead. Tyrande made it. And Leo just keeps attacking. The keep is gone. Leo is taking the bot lane out. He absolutely demolishes this. That's the keep plus the topside fort gone. So both of them destroyed now. And Hit the Core is just running the show here. You know what? Maybe it was Hit the Core that was in the higher division. Who knows? But certainly from the plays that we're seeing, we should assume so. So Hit the Core right now with 7 kills to 4 and getting closer and closer to a potential victory in this one to move on in the winner bracket to the next round. We now have them also nearly a 2-level lead again. So they are definitely crushing it here. Stacks are coming together for them as well. We got Leo still with 24,000 damage in the top seed. Tychus chasing him hard. Tychus is at 23,000 damage. And, well, Hanzo, obviously, as so often, is top damage in the game. But that doesn't really help them unless they're getting a few more kills. I like the combo early. I mean, the combo around Muradin and Chromie was fantastic for that double kill. But it should have stopped the push nearly completely, and it just didn't. The defense wasn't strong enough from them, despite the kills that they got there. Now it's level 13 versus 13 talents. The red team gets a Web Weaver wave, so they have an objective. But, uh-oh, Blaze will have to bunker up here. Yeah, that's a bunker, and I don't know if the blue team, can they save him? Yes, they can. The arrow from Hanzo coming in strong. Light bomb also being used, but it's Anduin that dies first. Jet propulsion in the back. They're trying to go for Tychus. Murden might be in trouble as well. Jumps out. Pyroblast. Yeah, he just got away from the Pyroblast. That was reset, but now Blaze is dead. They're getting a nice lock on Hanzo with a gravity. Beautiful move by Chromie, and then the owl hits her and just drops her. The owl kill against Chromie, as it just looked like she might escape, and then the owl comes in and smooches a little bit. So yeah, that was actually a funny one. She blocks the swing, and then Toronto's just like, I got this. Mwah. And yeah, that's a dead Chrome stuff. So, seems like it's a 2-0 victory, ladies and gentlemen. At this point, we have the push. 16 tiles are in. Hit the core is hitting it hard, and it is game. A 2-0 win. Sigma Males has the Web Beavers on the ground, but Hit the core wins the series and moves on to the next round. GG.
So,